just be focusing on negative things, but also include people in.
All right, we're listening to Gary
So
V.
I'm just curious if you've seen.
And check this out. This is really important.
I watch it all the time. The answer is everything works and everything doesn't work. This is real.
It is real.
Right? Like, and I've watched people go through the ebbs and flows. Right? Like, right now, there's so much data that supports that people that are over curate are not doing as well as they used to. But then everybody who loves curating and making everything look polished and the grid look good sees somebody explode who only does that, and then they want to gravitate towards it because they like the aesthetics. Then, you know, like, and so I need everyone to hear this nice and slow. There's no right answer. There's right answers for you at right times.
At the moment.
And so if you wake up and be like, man, I love even the way you asked the question, man, I've let people into a lot of the challenges. Today I just want to do something like bubbly and good. Do that. The thing that I'm most worried about is that you are all talking yourselves out of doing what you feel in your stomach because you think there's a better way.
You think.
And then when you do something that you feel in your stomach, what I'm scared about is it doesn't do as well as your other content, and you give up after one post and you archive it and try to act like it didn't happen. The level of insecurity,
this is it.
Please watch what I'm doing. I think you should do things you want to do. I think when you're 90, you're gonna be upset. Every one of you, I just saw Kenyatta just answer, I saw Adrian just shake his head like, do your thing. Because I'm telling you when you're 90, you're gonna be sad if you didn't do the thing that's in your stomach. I know a lot of you from afar. I know a lot of you have built a foundation to be able to do more things, but a lot of you are scared to do new things because you won't get as many likes, or you're scared to lose your audience instead of realizing you're gonna gain a bigger audience. I was the biggest blind personality.
So there's so much in that about, so first, the last thing you said is about the likes, right? And sometimes you'll hear people refer to these, if you pay attention to any marketing or anything like that at all, that those are called vanity metrics. And this is something that I know too, because if you look at my social media, if you look at my Instagram, if you look at my Twitter, now X, if you look at my YouTube, if you look at LinkedIn, you'll see that there are crickets, that there's hardly any interaction on the surface that you see. But when you look at the listens to my podcast, which is, for some people that might not be a lot, but there's over 500,000, or at least the last time I checked, there was over 250,000, there are maybe around 300,000 listens to the podcast, right? And then also I get paid commissions. Well, not commissions, they're called ad share revenue for that. And then there are people who are reading my books either on Amazon Kindle, for example. And so there's the KDP, there's the royalties that I get from that. And then a lot of times my books are, people can find them through links that I post, which I'm also an Amazon associate. And so therefore I get a commission if somebody clicks and buys not only one of my books, but anything if they go through one of the links that I have on there. But now I mentioned that just because of, vanity metrics, likes and shares and comments. Sometimes that doesn't always mean that somebody's clicking through and buying and or reading something or signing up for a membership. I just got somebody signed up for the first time on my Spreaker supporters program for one of my podcasts that for the longest time I contemplated whether or not I should put everything behind a paywall. And a day after I did, somebody signed up for it. Now, how long they'll stay a member, I don't know. I know that I should probably get to creating more binaural beats and things like that. Other things that Gary V said, Gary Vaynerchuk, I've been following him for years, is, when you're 90, you're going to look back. And here's my paraphrasing of this. I've often thought about this, and you may have heard the saying before that says, it's probably better for you to regret having done something than not having done something. And of course that doesn't mean like, something stupid like a criminal act, but it's better to do these things putting yourself out there than not to, because then later you're going to be saying, I should have. It's better to say I should have. I shouldn't have than I should have. Having the regret of not doing something is so much worse, in my opinion. And I know that, and that's why I just do. I just do, and I don't care. Well, let me rephrase this. I care what people think to a certain extent, but my ego is not all tied up into what people think. People can say what it's not going to stop me from doing what I do. You should see the kinds of videos and things that I make, and I may even use this audio behind it. Like, I just decided that I was going to do this thing where I simply take videos of myself going to the gym, because I'm mostly I like to improve my martial arts and kickboxing by watching myself on video and seeing where I'm lagging. Like, for example, I'll say, okay, man, I'm not throwing enough punches, I'm not throwing enough kicks because I got these big heavy muscular legs, so sometimes I get tired and I don't want to throw them, and so I might be slacking off, or I might not be keeping my hands up, or I might not be doing enough defensive and evasive movements and things like that. So that's why I record myself doing kickboxing. I just set up the camera. I don't care if people walk in front of it, or if it gets obstructed by something, or if the camera falls over. I've even had people in the gym, for example, who knocked over my camera or walked, and they say, "Oh, I'm sorry." I don't care. I'm not one of those influencer people who gets upset about that stuff. I'm doing it so that I can improve myself. And so, by the way, that's also something to say towards people who say, stop recording yourself in the gym. Screw you. You don't know why I'm doing that. Just because you see that there are a whole bunch of people in there who are doing it strictly for vanity and for whatever you talk about for clout, doesn't mean that that's why everybody else is doing it. Especially because I'm actually doing something. I'm not just showing off my ass or shaking it or something like that. I'm kickboxing for 5-minute rounds and keeping myself accountable so that I can make sure that I'm better at doing it, because I'm a self-defense coach. I teach people one-on-one private lessons, self-defense, and I have to be at the top of my game and the way that I think about things is that I have to be on the top of my game if I'm going to be teaching somebody else that they should be on the top of their game. If I'm going to be teaching people about elite fitness and all this stuff about stress management, then I need to be at the top of my game, or at least as high as I can get for where I am. So that's why I record myself. But back to, again, I do this thing where I record these videos, and because I have all these videos on my device and sometimes it gets cluttered up and I forget to delete them, but I also want to keep the media, something that I've been doing, and this is just an idea, is that I've been taking these talks that I record audio, because I'm mainly an audio guy. I'm an audiophile. I love audio. I love recording. I love the voice. I get ideas out much more quickly that way than I do even blogging, even though my websites have been online for 19 years. It's simpler for me to just hit record and speak my mind. And so in order to put them on YouTube, because I'm also not a YouTuber and I'm not like much of a video production guy like that, I just take videos of me training and I put these talks in the background and I put them on YouTube. You can go ahead and look. I've been doing it for a long ass time, and I don't care about how many views I get. I don't care how many likes I get. I look at it. I look to see the metrics. There's been things that I've seen that have gotten more than usual, but I haven't paid attention to that yet, because I'm putting the content out there. Because one of the things like that might be related to what people are calling clout, and I'm not sure if people are using it in the correct way, but is to actually show that I am what I say I am. I'm a martial artist, right? And in order for me to make these claims that I'm fit at 47 and that I can, I have this kind of endurance and this kind of strength and I can do these moves, I record it and I show it so that people can actually see it instead of me just saying it, right? It actually shows it. And it's not, and the cool thing, what I like about it, and I know I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent from what Gary V is awesome, but the thing that's really cool about it is that it shows me there's a stop sign. It shows me in a longer form rather than, sorry, somebody just was running a stop sign. It shows a longer form rather than how, and this is nothing against them, but a lot of people show these really short clips, right, of them doing these cool moves and all the stuff like that. I'm doing full on 5-minute rounds of endurance, showing the whole thing all the way through without any editing at all. There's been a few videos that I edited because I do this one move where I jump in the air and I do a 540-degree spin through the air. My whole body is parallel to the ground. I've been doing it for 30 years, so ever since I first taught myself how to do it, and so sometimes I do slow down videos just because I like to show off. Like it's a physical feat. People are like, man, this guy's 47 years old, because it's one of the things that I hear all the time is people come up to me and ask me, when they see me training, because I train outside at parks, like when I go to the gas station and I'm filling up my car, I do the capoeira Jenga, and I do lunges off of it, and I do push-ups, and I just do whatever I'm saying. And people say, man, what, are you a trainer, or are you a martial art? Because I just because the way that I train and the things that I do is I just do a little bit every day wherever I can. I don't, especially when I've been traveling a lot and I'm on the road, I don't have a gym membership, so I just train and work out wherever I am to keep my fitness level up, and also just to kind of test and see where I am. Anyway, this thing, I've been listening to this video. It's called Social Media Advice That Will Revolutionize Your Brand by Gary Vaynerchuk. He's Gary V on YouTube. He's got 4.56 million subscribers as far as I can tell right now. Like I said, I've been following him for years, and I don't know how much information I'm going to put in the show notes right away, if you even hear this right away, or when you're going to hear it, but I just wanted to put that out there. That's where that came from, just in case I don't make the time right away to put all the links and everything in there. But all credit to Gary Vaynerchuk. He's amazing. He's one of the most inspiring and practical business persons, entrepreneurs out there, who shares a lot of really great practical stuff. So I would check him out if I were you, if that's something that you're interested in. And if not, I don't know what you're interested in, because I have, my content and the stuff that I put out there is just whatever I'm interested in. So it could be, you could be watching this as a video on YouTube with the audio in the background of me kickboxing, or you could be listening to this on Spreaker or any one of the podcast channels. I have no clue where you're going to be consuming this, so I'm not sure when you're going to get it or what, but if there's no text, no links to it, just so you know, that's where it came from. Gary Vaynerchuk, Social Media Advice That Will Revolutionize Your Brand. All right, so good. 12 minutes, that's awesome. I'm out.